Hey everyone, this is Kevin Powell, activist and writer from Brooklyn, New York. I first learned about the 7.0 earthquake in Haiti. I was home office, and Charles Ogletree from Harvard Law School, who was Barack Obama, was one of his professors when Barack was in law school, texted a few of us and said, "Hey, Haiti just got hit hard. You all need to be aware of this." As an activist, myself and fellow activist April Silver decided, as we were hearing, phone calls from so many different people in New York, around the country, and overseas, people emailing us because, they know that we do this kind of work. We both were deeply involved in Hurricane Katrina relief efforts. We decided we needed to put together a statement that not only talked about how ways that people could help Haiti, but also here's what this country is, its independence, thanks to Toussaint Louverture and Dessalines on January 1st, 1804. The fact that it was the first independent black nation in the Western Hemisphere. The fact that, unfortunately, it's one of the poorest nations on the planet today, but rich in history and culture. It has produced great people like Edward Danticat, the award-winning writer, like obviously Wyclef Jean, the great hip-hop artist. And we just wanted to give people viable, legitimate organizations that they could support, organizations that were actually on the ground in Haiti, like the Haitian Support Project, like an organization called IFCO and the Haitian Lawyers Legal Network. First, I would recommend people check out my website, kevinpowell.net/helphaiti. What April Silver and I did was put together a resource guide. There's a list of organizations like YELE, like IFCO, like Haitian Support Project, which was founded by Dr. Ron Daniels, who's been deeply involved in Haiti for many, many years. And what folks get from that is a listing of other organizations underneath those where they can support. Because what we're trying to say to folks is, it's fine to give to some of the larger philanthropic organizations, but here are some organizations that actually are on the ground in Haiti, actually are down there in places like Miami, close to Haiti, that can make sure some of these resources get to people. The most important thing people can do now is make cash donations. For example, you can call, dial 501-501, and then text YELE, the name of Wyclef's organization, and you automatically are donating $5 to relief efforts via his organization. And also begin to accumulate wherever you are, be it your frat, sorority, civic organization, social club, whatever it is, your church, your religious institution, whatever your faith is, as many resources as possible. What Haitian brothers and sisters need more than anything is water. Lots and lots and lots of water, blankets, and tents. Those are the most critical things right now because they're still in the rescue phase. Once we begin to move to the relief phase, then we can talk about things like clothing for men and women, for boys and girls. The other thing that is absolutely needed right now is tons and tons of medical supplies, first aid kits, hydrogen peroxide, rubbing alcohol, cotton swabs, Band-Aids. This reminds me, as an African American, as a black American, of what I experienced in the 1980s around South Africa and apartheid. Quite frankly, I was very ignorant. I didn't know where South Africa was. I didn't know what apartheid meant when it was first said to me. But the education I got, because I began to learn about all the tragic things that were happening in South Africa, really brought me into a deep love for that country and support of that country, that exists to this day. And so I definitely have been struck by the mobilization of black Americans in support of Haiti. In fact, some of my Haitian sisters and brothers have said to me, I never expected this kind of support from black Americans. I think it's happening for a couple of reasons. When black people turn on the TV, they see black people, and they're like, that's us. I think number two, because we went through Katrina, there's a great empathy, greater than ever, for folks who go through the same kind of tragic occurrences. And then I think number three, we got to remember that black people oftentimes have this kind of residual memory. So even if we're not very knowledgeable about Haitian history, about the Great Revolution of the early 1800s, about this independence, we can't forget that the Haitian Revolution was so significant that it actually, pre-internet, all of the social media like Twitter and Facebook, it actually filtered into the southern part of the United States and led to a lot of black folks on plantations in this country saying, we want to rebel as well, because it was that powerful. Haiti has popped up in so many different ways in black American culture. There's a character for colored girls called Toussaint, you know what I mean, by Tazaki Shange. And so I think it was inevitable, this kind of outpouring, because there is a connection. There's a historical connection, and you go to cities like New Orleans, you know, there's a huge Haitian community there, and there's a huge connection between Haiti and Louisiana going back to 200 years. I want everyone to please, please, in any way you can, big or small, help Haiti. Help Haiti. If you want to know how you can help Haiti, what material to read, what films to watch, what organizations to support, go to my website, kevinpowell.net/help Haiti.